One more from this channel. Is women's reaction to passport bros. Let's see. Positive, doubtful. Omni thinks these chubby girls have the highest body counts. They just throw themselves at you. Talk about it. Talk about it. How would you know, bro? You got insider information?
I've been doing a deep dive on the passport bros phenomenon, and here's an...
Listen, I'm starting to realize some of you been harpooning out here in the streets. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed.
insight that a lot of people miss. The way these men are leaving their own countries to go to lower income countries to find wives, and they say that it's because the women there are more feminine and they really value femininity in a woman. They say that the women in their own countries, they're not as feminine anymore, they're masculine, and they just don't want that in a partner. But then I look around me, my neighbors, my friends, and a lot of the women here are feminine, they're beautiful, they have a soft feminine aura, they treat their men well, they cook, they clean, they do everything. And then I realized that I'm in a high income neighborhood and their husbands, they're high earners. This just highlights how femininity has become a luxury in the US. Because it has become a luxury that a lot of men cannot afford, they go to places where femininity is the norm and not luxury. And that's okay, good for them. Bottom line is, if you're a feminine woman, you get the best pick of men in any society. Whether you're an American woman in the US or a foreign woman.
Listen, she actually nailed that point. That's the unfortunate truth. It's rooted in the broken capitalist system we have right now that is actually screwing up men's abilities to provide like they used to back in the day. Hello, Jason. You will get a ton more feminine women in richer neighborhoods. That's a fact. I've seen this with my own eyes working in construction and remodeling with my own business and dealing with clients from all sorts of income levels in society. The $1 million houses typically had the most feminine, beautiful women because a man could afford that kind of woman. It's probably not for the reason she thinks, and it goes deeper than because men, but her point stands in the wider picture of society as a whole. Now, what I've noticed is when you go down lower into the rungs of society, you tend to get more and more masculine women because they have to be masculine to a point to survive, because most of them probably have men or no men in their lives, but men that come and go and not in a consistent basis. So that forces them to protect themselves by becoming more masculine, working more, bitter in general. Because again, you got to think, women constantly compare with one another. Imagine if you have to go to work, you have no man taking care of you, you're in the grocery store, you're buying something for yourself that you have to cook at home, not even cook, you're probably putting that shit in the microwave oven. And then a woman walks by you in a beautiful flowing like flower dress with a baby wearing expensive heels. The baby has expensive clothes and she's buying all the organic expensive shit. And she looks like a well taken care of kept woman. I can't explain to you guys the deep-seated resentment that causes in a lesser woman. The anxiety and the bitterness that brings out. It's brutal, man. Every woman wishes she could be taken care of by a man. There's just not enough of those men to go around. Carl, thanks, brother. A woman criticized me for having a low body count due to my faith, which she shares. Do we really live in a world where a man who practices abstinence is unattractive to most women? Yeah, you lack experience. That's what it is in their eyes. Your faith, it weighs you down in the world today, in the hedonistic world today. Unless you get an uber religious woman as well who makes God her priority and Jesus and whatever denomination you're from. Unless you get a woman like that, true believer, yeah, it's a net negative. She doesn't want to teach you shit. You don't seem competent in the bedroom, therefore competent in real life, et cetera, et cetera. It's just all bad for you. That's unfortunately the world we live in today. And to find a woman truly religious in that manner, dude, good luck. Here, today, it's an uphill battle, brother. Good luck to you. T Diamond, thanks. Are the men who are desperate for whales usually ugly? Are they repulsive to women? Typically, yes. Most guys, what's up, Alex? Most guys that go after the chubbier side of women have low self-esteem in themselves. At least the ones I've met always think they're not good enough, always had some form of mommy issues growing up, always did bad with women, and always went for the, quote, low-hanging fruit, which is typically obese women. So yeah, it's brutal. No notifications today. Hang out with us over on Rumble. By the way, please write a a review for the tribe. I posted it over on Discord. Check it out. I need some reviews about the Spartan Challenge and all that. I'm going to put them up on the website for people when they sign up.
I applaud this queen for realizing this and pointing it out. What amazes me is the fact that she had to correlate living in a rich US neighborhood with being feminine. I mean, it's not like men from all social classes in the US haven't been saying this. No disrespect to this queen in the least. It's simply mind-boggling that a woman must go to an extreme length to realize, wow, what men are saying is true. Femininity is not the norm in the US anymore. Bam! It wouldn't surprise me if this queen
At the reservation, we call it auntie hunting for the older ones.
got hit with comments or messages from other US women trying to shame her or call her a pick-me. Ladies, it's not rocket science. Women in the western part of the world are the ones that changed, and some men are exiting because of it. Sure, there will be women who are going to try to shame them or call them dusty. Well, it's not the dusty ones leaving. It's the ones who have money who are leaving. The era of the mail order bride is all but over. The passport bro expat is on the rise. The women who are upset with those men kind of remind me of when we were children playing outside in the summer. The ice cream truck came and left, and those who missed it would pout, well, I didn't want any ice cream anyway. Yeah, like that. Moving on.
My take on passport bros as an American who's lived in the Philippines for 2 years is that most Filipino women who are dating foreigners, they know English very well. They're smart. They're not uneducated. They definitely know what's going to happen and what's going on, and they know the expectations of what a possible...
Yeah, for those asking me, it's testimonials. Just short blurbs like quips, like a paragraph max. Just testimonials that I could use. Some of the really solid ones with good reviews will be displayed over on the website. Just to give men an idea of kind of what's going on for the community.
Marriage might entail. The part where I get a little worried is I've seen a lot of passport bros be, first of all, predators as young as 13 years old. And second of all, they seem very, very hurt and just like really jaded towards American women and kind of controlling and just really aggressive. So that would be something to consider as well if you want that type of personality as a partner.
This queen addressed some concerning points, although she was quite vague on it. And when she said, a lot of passport bros being predators, going after 13-year-old little ones, that is disgusting and should not be allowed anywhere. My concern on her wording is she actually jumbled those deplorable individuals with men who are jaded. I by no means defend the first group she mentioned. I'm just pointing out how...
Yeah, it's guilty by association, unfortunately. Just because some men happen to go overseas to be predators, just like there's some older women that are predators to younger men overseas, that doesn't mean that's, quote, passport bro. That's someone who's trafficking. That's a predator, and they should be buried in the prisons. But that has nothing to do with a subset of men that are probably of value, because most people that hold a passport in the United States make something like 60% of them have over $100,000 a year salary. So pretty good value men. And a lot of the passport bros aren't old. They're actually pretty young guys. Montana, an Indian reservation, it's more of a game and sometimes a joke. It's a different culture out here, but definitely not serious. Yeah. Trails End, the website is actually done. It's just creating the payment portal, and then we're ready to rock. I think over the next couple of days, that's going to be finished and live. So we'll be doing a video and welcoming everybody in there.
Women use glazed over language to lump actual deviants with men who went looking for an LTR. She also said these men are controlling and aggressive. Examples would be nice to have since, again, that lumps in everyone. That's like me saying a lot of these American women can be intolerable and possessive. Yeah, it makes me sound like a politician.
And also, when people move to the U.S., they have a foreign spouse. Sometimes, not always, sometimes that foreign spouse is isolated, doesn't have very good connections. So if anything were to be bad or if they would need any help, I'm just worried that some people might not have the resources to get the appropriate help or support or community they need. But I don't care who you guys marry. If it's a foreigner or not, obviously I'm married to a foreigner myself. But I think there are just some parts to be cautious about. And then also just remember, a lot of American women have had really bad experiences with men. So when they see like that kind of rough personality going to another country and having women there, they might just be a little upset or triggered because they don't want women to experience things that they have also experienced. So that's my take.
Hold up a second, Queen. Let me get this straight. She is married to a foreign man, and she said U.S. women have had bad experiences with U.S. men and don't want to see other women go through that? Fam, please correct me if I'm wrong here. That sounded almost like a double standard. Yeah, fam, I can get a foreign spouse, but it does concern us women when the other gender does the same. To this queen, I just have to say, her take sounds suspiciously a lot like rules for thee and not for me. Fam, hear me out. U.S. women have been going overseas looking for husbands for years, like this queen, and I never heard U.S. men complaining or making a movement against it, so why give any opinion, no matter how subtle it may be, in contrast to men doing the same? Maybe it's because with every passport bro that pops up, that's one less possible future alimony check.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Moving on.
I don't blame men also for looking. If they've really tried to find a woman here and they can't find one, I don't blame them for looking elsewhere, because we have a certain level of, I guess I want to call it, what's the word I'm looking for? Privilege. We have a certain level of privilege over here in the U.S. that some people, some women abuse. And, you know, in that fact, they end up abusing who they're with. And they want to get everything and they don't want to give anything. But that's been going on for a while.
I have to applaud this queen. Her words were on point as to a huge part of the cause of passport traveling men looking for relationships overseas. Ladies, let me put it this way. If multiple women say over and over in their coaching videos, don't settle, well, guess what? Men don't have to settle for you either. There are more videos of women shaming or complaining about men who left for better treatment somewhere else. Then there are videos like this one that tries to understand the real reason men are leaving. Kind of like when a 400-pound / 28.5 stone guy complains that airline seats don't offer the minimum space, when in fact those seats are designed to accommodate someone weighing about 240 pounds / 17 stone. Yeah, like that. I agree with this queen when she says many women in the US are privileged and some abuse that privilege. Not to mention men who decide to start families in other countries don't want to go through the horrors of the U.S. family court system.
You know, and I think where we really need to come to the bottom line and where we really need to come to an accord with men and women is that we need to understand that it's not always about what you can get.
Someone says spoiled girl syndrome. No, dude, it's old as time, princess syndrome. The entitlement is drilled into them by culture, family, society at large. Women are not held to the same standards men are. It is what it is. They have been blessed with the ability to give birth, which Mother Nature made them far more valuable to society than men. It is what it is. You are disposable as a man. You don't matter until you create value and you become important in society. Therefore, they choose. It is what it is. We got to play the game. It's brutal. So, because they have no accountability or very little expected of them, they start to develop this, quote, princess syndrome where they need everything and anything handed to them at will, whenever. And if you can't, you're seen as less than a man. You're seen as a dusty, a bum who can't provide, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the princess syndrome typically is found less and less in places around the world that are more grounded in day-to-day life. Disney syndrome, whatever you want to call it. People that stay together in big-ass families, still extended families where parents are actually present, grandparents present, cousins, uncles, aunts, etc. still present, where family, tradition, all that stuff, coming of age, rituals, whatever, still matter. These are where you'll find your most grounded people that typically don't have the spoiled princess syndrome because they're out there in the field. They're out there milking the goat. They're out there collecting the fruit. They're out there helping the family, tilling the land, living off of it, you know? So these people are much more grounded in the real world and sees the value that men and women have and appreciates it more. That's what you're not going to find here. Theo, used passport and have Ukrainian blonde now. She doesn't work, does yoga, Pilates, etc. Buys organic, perfect hair, size 2, USA, women hater. Congrats, brother.
But it's about what you can give to somebody else. And I don't mean just things. I mean things that you can't put a dollar amount on. And that's something, you know, somebody that really cares about you, that has your back through thick and thin, that isn't about money, that cares about your well-being, that you can trust, you know, because nowadays, you know, if you can't trust the person that you're with, you shouldn't be with that person.
Thank you, Queen. Exactly what men have been saying. How many times have we seen in these women dating advice videos the main agenda being me, and make it all about you, girl? I'm going to say an opinion that will trigger my female viewers. If there is a noticeable increase in US/Western men leaving the country for women in these other countries, it shows how low men have set the bar. Think about it. These men are not going to these countries to find boss babes or women in their masculine energy or women they need to handle. No, fam. All men want is for women to be naturally submissive, non-confrontational, and feminine. US women find it so difficult to be those things that these men have to outsource their LTRs. Fam, it's like some Western women want a communist block on men's relationships. No, comrade. We do not give papers for you to leave country to find love. You remain here. Marry woman who plans divorce, take children, and years of alimony. Get back or you will face firing squad.
I must break you.
I'm just saying. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see y'all